Yes, it really could be a treasure map. And here's why. In this quick clip, Tom and I explain in our recent podcast how more and more things are coming to light that are validating Zena Halpern's map. Going back to Zena and her map, that just we're getting people have said that Zena's map is not true. Cremona documents and all that stuff, it's all fake. No, it's made up. Somebody just made it up or whatever. And her map is not true. But instead of finding things to disprove the map, they keep finding things to validate the map.
Yeah, every time they talk, every time they bring up more history, they keep pulling Zena's map back into it.
And again, I go back to that whole thing that it looked like it was a quickly drawn map that somebody did while looking at another map and they
Yep.
copied it. That's what it
Or
looked like to
or
me.
they were drawing it quickly from memory.
Right. Yep. Exactly. So, and
Yep.
I don't know.
Because you can't dispute the fact that they always say which came first, the chicken or the egg, right?
Mhm.
We didn't know these things were here. Somebody knew they were there if they drew them on Zena's map.
Yep.
When they originally started talking about Zena's maps, the skeptics would say, "Oh, this map was drawn to match existing known information." Right? They drew the map to make it fit. Well, the stuff they're finding now, they wouldn't have known at the time that this map was presented to the team.
Um, I'm starting to get more and more to where I do believe in this map. I really do. And here's why: because every time we turn around, there's another thing being found. And here's another one. The anchor in the swamp. Yes, Ryan, that's
That's very
exactly where I was
that's
headed.
that could be what you're looking at right there.
Yeah, yeah. This little feature right here. You see that rock sticking up, and that's
Mhm.
something that Maddie pointed out. And he was looking at it, and they said something about it having maybe. He said it kind of looks like one of the Nolan.
Dolan's Cross Rocks, yep.
Yeah, the Nolan cross.
Got that sort of cone look to it. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay,
And
so
keep in
here's a
mind too, people, that when they say, that's an anchor, it's an anchor. The map refers to an anchor. The anchor doesn't necessarily mean something that you would normally associate with being an anchor that you'd see hanging out the side of a ship.
right.
An anchor can mean an anchor point.
And because when I first glanced, I looked at Zena's map and I'm like, okay, there's nothing there. I don't see it. But then I looked again, and then lo and behold, I did see it. And right
And,
here is the anchor.
and it's the anchors plural.
Anchors, plural, right. So right here, and that's the anchors. There's another one over here,
Mhm.
that's just what would that be? East of Nolan's house, up
Yep.
there on the hillside, down that hill somewhere. And then there's the one right there. What do you think? Is that one of the anchors? Was it moved? I don't know. We'll find out as the season goes along and they actually find it during the show. We'll know whether or not they moved it. My thinking was is that Billy Gerhardt was in there digging with the long reach excavator and hit it, and then they dug around it.
It could be. Yep. Because I mean, you got to
So
keep in mind too. He's only allowed to dig in 4 very restricted areas right now,
I'm glad you brought that up. So
Mhm.
we will let's show that right now.
And
Um,
that's why they get back into the swamp, because they're
right
in very very defined areas.
here, and then we have the platform here, and then we have the section up here, which I can't wait to find out more information about, which is where they said the dam. They're hoping that they have a dam up there. This was a dam that was on Zena's map, but it was also something they looked for, and they went back and forth with the handheld
Yeah,
scanner. They walked
yeah.
back and forth with it, um, and they picked up some anomaly there. And they started to dig down. They found some wood with creosote or oiled wood,
Yeah,
and a
and they had to
fastener
stop.
bar of
Then they
some.
had to stop because they thought they were getting too far into it.
Well, and they got too deep, and they had to. Now they are at that point where they have to have a permit. Well, now
Yeah.
they've got one.
Well,
But
all right.
going back to Zena's map, right here,
Mhm.
we have there it is right there, the dam. Um, they got the dam, and of course they got the. In, I was telling Linda earlier. I was complaining about Prometheus having the wrong thing lit up. They got the red letters for the dam, but they got it showing the basin, which is the eye of the swamp. The dam is actually right here, uh, in this area
And
here.
that dam too, right? I mean, that could be multifunctional, right? They could be using that as a dry dock in there. They could be using it as a fish trap. They could be trying to cordon off the island into 2 different sections or create a dead space in there.
Mhm.
Just because it's a dam doesn't mean it's only used for one thing.
Bingo.